All right, guys, welcome to another edition of the EFED podcast interview series. Today, I'm joined by Ken. Ken plays the wonderful Mr. Studley over in the SWA, the Social Media Wrestling Association. He's also handled in feds such as Rudy's Internet Wrestling, the WSW, and the SBCW, among others. We're going to talk to him a lot about his EFED career today and ask him a bunch of questions as well. Ken, how you doing? Welcome to the show, buddy.
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me. To be honest with you, the it's a great honor to be on this podcast because it shows the level of talent that is involved in everybody's EFED career, and I'm honored to be a part of it to showcase my career.
Well, I'm excited to talk to you about your career, but before we get into that, let's talk about how you became a wrestling fan. When did you first get into pro wrestling, and do you remember when that was and what it was?
I remember the match. Believe it or not, it was one of Papa Shango's matches.
Okay.
Um, and as you may well know, the Papa Shango later became the Godfather, and then the Good Father,
Oh, yeah.
and and ever since then, uh, I've sort of marked out on being a wrestling fan.
Okay.
Um,
You were into the
I
voodoo stuff of Papa Shango. And how old were you when this was happening?
6.
Okay, so to you, it's like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. I've never seen anything like this. This guy's a real life voodoo person.
Right, and believe it or not, my father thought the same thing, and he tried to discourage me from watching wrestling. Then I picked up what's the great equalizer in the Attitude Era,
What's that?
and um so basically I stopped watching wrestling for about 6 years,
Okay.
and then I picked up right as the Attitude Era was really exploding.
I gotcha. Just as everything was coming to a head and the pay per views are blowing up and everything else is going on,
Mm-hmm.
Austin and The Rock and everybody else.
Although I was much more of a WCW mark, if I remember correctly,
Okay.
because of the fact that I liked Hogan and the NWO, and basically I half modeled my career off the NWO.
Okay. Well, talk about you said you were in WCW. Give us like your favorite wrestlers when you first started wrestling. I mean, obviously Papa Shango, but I mean in the later uh, portion of your watching, who else attracted your eyes? What other wrestlers did you really like? Because obviously Papa Shango was long gone. Hogan.
Obviously Hogan, Flair,
Yeah.
Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall.
So the
And
NWO and Ric Flair. So were you into the Four Horsemen too?
believe it or not, I did not know what the Four Horsemen were
Okay.
because I hopped on way too late
Yeah.
to enjoy their quality of work.
Sure, I was the same way. I didn't watch WCW. I was a WWF guy growing up. Every pay per view, every show. So I get it. I missed all that stuff. Um, so before we move on to e-wrestling, last question. Talk about, give us a Mount Rushmore. Top four wrestlers all time favorites.
I just named them: Hogan,
Scott
Flair.
Hall. There it is. You gave them to me.
Yeah.
I like it. Little preemptive answer. Okay. So talk to me about how you found e-wrestling. Talk about how this is a weird, wacky, wild hobby and it's secluded way out here on the internet. How did you find it?
Believe it or not, a friend of mine by the name of Patrick Moore. He brought me on to e wrestling. We were talking one day about character building and what to do with as a professional wrestler, and he pointed me to this fed called Rudy's Internet Wrestling.
Okay.
And basically, what it is it was a TNM7 simulated eFed,
Nice.
and basically what would happen is each card on the show would would have a sign up sheet, and I put my name on there about, I don't know, close to a half dozen times, and then I realized that I needed to register.
Who's this guy?
Yeah, exactly. So, exactly. So I put, so I signed up, uh, ironically enough, as Mr. Studley.
Okay.
And it's sort of the name that stuck to me throughout my e-wrestling career.
So you created your character, Mr. Studley, in your first EFED, Rudy's Internet Wrestling, and now, what is it? How many years later that you're still carrying the same character?
21 years.
See, and that's amazing. It's interesting how it's always one way or another. Someone is either you're one character forever. You get this character and you just stick with it, or you do 100 different characters before you finally find the one that you stick with.
Right. But however, the personality of Mr. Studley changed over the years. For example, when I was in RIW,
Mm-hmm.
um, my 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 role model at the time was Triple H.
Okay.
And then and then later on in my career, when I evolved into WSW and SWA, it's Kevin Nash.
So you're cutting an entirely different promo by then.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny how as your interests change, so does your character. I've done that over the last 4 or 5 years as well.
Hmm. And to me, going from a Triple H type character to Kevin Nash really elevated my career, because when I was over in Rudy's, uh, I was billed at 7 foot. I was wanting to say 7'3" and 309 pounds.
Okay.
Now I'm billed as 7'0" and 309 pounds. So it doesn't really change much. It's just your attitude towards your character.
Yeah. So you got a big character. You've always played the big guy, 7 feet tall. Why is that? Because you were always attracted to Kevin Nash? Is that?
Believe it or not, no. It was because when I was again, I gotta mention him again. When I was talking to Sean Harrington, he sort of became my mentor in e-wrestling, and he was like, why don't you go with Kevin Nash? Because it basically fits the profile of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about it and I agreed, and we went happy Dulog Day.
So you're playing the big guy and you're in Rudy's, and you said, how long does it take before you finally get the grasp of e-wrestling, how to play, getting good at it, so on and so forth?
Oh, it took me about 14 years to get good.
we've all been really bad, and we all know we've been really bad at some point.
Yes, and I could show you after the interview what my first promo was.
That's awesome. We'll have to put that on the Patreon.
Yeah, because it just so happened that my sign-up sheet happened to have been preserved in the Wayback Machine.
That's awesome. So,
however, yeah,
go ahead.
However, the rest of my promos in Rudy's days are all gone.
Well, at least you got the good one, the first one, the money promo.
Yeah, we're going to showcase that real good.
Yeah, that's right. I'm excited for it. So, took you a while to catch on, but talk about when you moved on to the next feds and how you got over there.
After 2002, it became known as my dark ages.
Okay.
Because I was bouncing around from EFED to EFED, trying to get the real feel in order to fit in.
Okay.
And then one day, as I was contemplating retirement, I was searching through Facebook EFEDs, and I found a small little EFED called Westside Wrestling.
WSW.
Right. And I signed up, and keep in mind this was the first time I used Kevin Nash as a pick rep, and 3 matches in, I had a title shot.
Nice. Finally catching the gist. Finally coming in with a bang and getting that little push.
Exactly. However, the title shot was the world title picture was managed by 2 brothers. And so I had to convince them that I deserved this win. And one of the questions that I'm going to be asked by the fans of this great podcast here will go into that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll save it for the question then.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. But over there, you get the championship shot. What happens then?
Spoilers.
Okay. All right, we'll save it.
I gotta say spoilers here.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, because that title shot would turn out to be my biggest disappointment in the hobby.
Oh no.
Yes, and I almost considered quitting right then and there. And then I looked up for some forum EFEDs, and I came across SBCW.
Okay.
Because I figured I'd take
for?
Shoutbox Championship Wrestling.
Okay.
And I figured I'd take a breather, go back to my roots a little bit, and see what happens. Granted, I didn't get a title shot over at SBCW, but I wasn't there long enough to even be considered for it.
Okay.
However, I did meet a guy by the name of Sean Harrington over there. He would eventually wrest control of WSW from the 2 brothers.
Okay. The Fed you were formerly in.
Right. And we had that Fed running from 2017 to 2009 toward the end of 2019.
Wow. So a couple of years. And what kind of Fed was this?
This was a promo to win EFED.
Okay.
So I then, after WSW closed, I eventually was trying to bounce around through EFED to EFED again. I was at the time convinced by, again, Patrick Moore, to compete in what was known as the Pro Boxing League.
Oh, so something different outside of wrestling.
Something different outside of wrestling, and I eventually won their world heavyweight title.
Nice. So in this boxing league, is it like weight based to where you have heavyweights, lightweights, middleweights, or is it a situation where all the boxers are in one league and you fight for a couple championships?
It's where everybody was in one big pool of talent.
Okay.
And then I bounced around to what is known as the Extreme Fighting League.
So almost a mixed martial arts.
Yeah, and I won. And to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting to win. I won their world heavyweight title.
Nice.
I promptly lost it again, but
but you held it.
But I held it. That's the
That's the important thing to remember on the podcast is you held the championship.
all the while I was holding their boxing title.
Okay.
So yet the boxing league and the Extreme Fighting League eventually lumped into the umbrella of Global Force Wrestling.
Okay.
And
so this is where the 3-sport champion comes in. On the EWT shirt that you can get right now over at efedpodcast.com. And it's got the Mr. Studley, and he's wearing it right now for the video interview for you patrons. You can check it out on Mr. Studley, and then you can go over to efedtees.com and pick it up for yourself.
Exactly. And it has my complete title history in the back.
It's great. Yeah, it's got a front and back. It's 1999 to what is it? Lift it up for
2020.
The 2020. 3-sport competitor, 3-sport champion.
Yep, and as soon as my days, actually, believe it or not, this is going to be the start of my tenure over at SWA.
Okay. This is 2019.
This would be toward the end of 2020.
Okay. So recent.
So I came across this guy by the name of Rick Lewis.
Great guy. Love Rick, former sponsor of the show, Rick Lewis.
Exactly. And he was holding a podcast called The After Tonight Show. And somehow I managed to catch one of their episodes on GFW. So I typed in so I was talking with the hosts and stuff like that. And one of them, a lady by the name of Jen Savage, she suggested I jump ship from GFW over to SWA.
There you go.
And smart enough, I did the smart decision because I knew that GFW wasn't going to last long anyway. And I made the smart decision to jump ship.
Okay.
And it was right around the time of Rowdy Roulette, the last year's pay-per-view. And so I was doing my typical character building over at SWA. And me and the guys there, me in that locker room, really hit things off.
Yeah, a great group of guys. A lot of them are customers also over at eFed Tees. We've gotten to know a lot of them, and I think it's a stacked roster.
Yes, and so I was named the Rookie of the Year.
Nice.
For 2020.
Great honor.
And believe it or not, I'm starting to get the push now.
The big push.
Yeah.
Well, here's one for the big push. Cheers to that.
Yep.
So what's going on right now? You said you're getting the push. What's happening storyline-wise?
Storyline-wise, we're just starting our second quarter 2021 season.
Okay.
And as of the time of the recording, I'm in a tag team match with their Commonwealth champion, Minotaur McDonnelly.
Nice.
Against Diamond Dave and Thomas Walker Jr. And like I said, they're all great guys to work with. And I'm proud to be a part of this roster because they provided stability where there was none.
Mm-hmm.
essentially in a career.
Great group of guys, and you're finding your niche in the Fed. Shout out to guys at the Social Media Wrestling Association. You can find them on Facebook. Just go into your search bar and type Social Media Wrestling Association, and they're going to come up. Rick Lewis is the guy to reach out to. He's running the ship as far as I know, and great guy all around to deal with.
Yes, exactly.
So if you want to check out the SWA, they do video promos, they do written promos, they do live podcasts, they do result shows. It's really cool, really interactive, and a fun Fed to be around. I've not joined myself, but I've been hanging out with a bunch of the guys and dealing with them, and they've been awesome, man. It's been great.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
Well, that's all I've got. Unless you've got anything else you want to cover, we can jump into these Twitter questions and everything else.
Let's jump into the Twitter questions.
Okay. Let me see here. We're gonna go to the Discord where we got some fun ones. Hope you're ready.
Oh, yes, I'm ready.
Up first, each and every week, it's Meg at Stop Drop. She says, "What do you say is the best moment of your eFed career?"
Becoming first ballot Hall of Famer in WSW.
There you go.
I was literally the first guy they announced as part of their Hall of Fame, and it's a real big honor to be a part of that, to be a part of the Hall of Fame, and it's a great group of guys that made it into the Hall. It's just shortly thereafter the Fed closed down.
Well, it's so cool that you got that place in history, and for you and that group of guys, you'll always be known as a Hall of Famer.
Right, exactly.
So also from Meg, is Studley a stud?
Well, I don't know. What do you think?
Meg is a patron, so she may see the video here. So,
yeah.
All right, at Tony.com, he just wanted me to hit that. Do you pledge allegiance to the Republic of Texas?
Absolutely.
Amen. And he says, real question, is there a character type that you've never written before that you'd like to?
Yes, believe it or not, the complete asshole heel. I never.
So much fun.
I never actually had the nerve to do it.
Well, I've been a complete asshole my whole life, so it came off easy for me. That's awesome, though. No, that'd be a lot of fun, though, to see you maybe turn the curve and try something different.
Exactly, yeah.
All right. Up next is John Thompson at TW Combat. What do you consider your greatest accomplishment in the hobby? We kind of covered that with Megs.
Believe it or not, I don't consider becoming a Hall of Famer my biggest accomplishment. My biggest accomplishment was my 2018 winning percentage.
Wow, what was that?
90%.
Wow, 9 out of 10. Not bad.
I went 18-2 that year, and it was sandwiched by two WSW television title reigns.
That's a hell of a record for 1 year. And these are promo feds?
Yes, these are promo feds.
So they're competitive feds. So for an entire year, you went 18-2 in a competitive environment.
Yeah.
Cheers to that. Also from John, what do you consider your greatest disappointment in the hobby? Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
If you skipped the spoiler earlier, now it's time for the reveal.
Yes, it's the time that I got screwed out of the WSW World Heavyweight title. At the time I won it, Sean Harrington was still running SBCW. Never had a chance to meet him yet. And at the time, the first owner of what was known as Westside Wrestling was having an argument with his brother over who should be the World Heavyweight title, who should hold the world's title. I was eventually added to the match as sort of the fall guy.
Okay.
Meaning I was supposed to lose the match.
You were expected to take the pin.
Yes, exactly. Uh, and I would be put in that match to make the brothers look stronger. The only thing out of that was that my body of work completely outworked the brothers, and I told them, if you screw me, I'm leaving.
Hey, at least you were upfront about it.
Uh, so when it came down to post results, I had won the triple threat match. As a matter of fact, I pinned the champion.
Okay, but then something happened.
Yeah. Immediately on that same card, I faced a challenger for the WSW World's Heavyweight Title, and they made me defend it against their guy.
And you lost to their guy.
Yeah, and I use guy in quotation marks here. And basically what happened to us, I wanted to quit the hobby right then and there. Until Sean Harrington convinced me to join SBCW, and as the rest is history.
Yep. Finally, from John, have you ever been to Billy Bob's in Fort Worth at the Stockyards? I saw a few shows there when I lived in Oklahoma. I'm sorry.
Closest I've been is 45 feet. I never stepped foot in the place.
There you go. He's been close to it. All right. From hashtag is your mom hot OG, it's Rick. Question 1. Is your mom hot?
To my dad, yes.
Good answer. I like the variations people come up with. Question 2. Is she single? I promise you won't have to call me dad.
No.
No. He's already got a dad, Rick. You're out. All right. Question 3. If you had to write an epic pay-per-view match of your choice, what would it be and who would be involved? Good question.
To be honest with you, that was a bit of a tricky question to formulate a response to. However, I'm going to track back to SWA for a minute. I would love to write a steel cage match between Justin Mad Dog Hicks and myself. Loser leaves town.
I see what you did there. All right. Question 4. What, besides not being able to work with Ridiculous yet, is your greatest regret in e-fetting?
Not keeping up with the RIW boys after that abruptly shut down.
Great group of guys and then just scattered.
Exactly.
Yeah. And finally from Rick, explain in a haiku form why Studley is the best character in the SWA.
Meandering thoughts, a mega champion fights, enjoying the war.
He made it haiku, guys. First one to actually take it serious and do the haiku. I like it. I think someone else did a haiku, but they did it on the fly. Finally, from Patrick on Facebook, how does it feel to be a 3-sport world heavyweight champion?
It feels like I've accomplished all I set out to do in the hobby, but I'm not done.
There's more to do. More to conquer.
Yeah.
I like it. From Jason Reeves, it's Stalker, Justin. Coolest gimmick match you helped create or participate in?
It would be participated in, and it would be Guerrilla Warfare. It's basically a Survivor Series match meets an Elimination Chamber.
Nice.
Only there's an odd number of participants, with one side getting the extra man advantage. Which side gets the extra man is usually determined beforehand.
Okay, so like there's a big match beforehand that says, "Hey, if you win, you get in. If you win, you get in."
No, basically it says if my side won, I would get the extra man. If
right,
the other side won,
Okay. Also from Justin, even though it says Jason, is it really regret that you feel from never working with Rick D, or is it happiness?
Happiness.
Happiness.
Happiness is the problem solver around here.
At MDG, it's Warren. Check out Modern Day Gladiators. Let's hear your promo on the Hulkster from any era or all time.
All right, here we go. I'm going to do this on the fly.
All right.
You know, Mean Gene, I'm the cream of the crop. Hollywood Hulk Hogan doesn't have shit on me. And Hollywood Hulk Hogan better watch his back because Studley is going after that WWF World Heavyweight title. Because I'm the cream of the crop.
There it is. There it is. little promo on the fly action. All right, that's awesome. I like it. But wait, there's more.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wait, there's more. Okay. From the SWA, we got 4 questions.
Oh, boy.
Do you feel disrespected being put into and losing a bra and panties match against Shawn Michaels?
As far as I recall, Justin Mad Dog Hicks, I won that.
I like how you already know who it is. Awesome. Question 2 from the SWA. How do you feel about your performance in the hour-long tag team elimination match between Mayhem and Outbreak?
To be honest with you, disappointed. I should have been pinned. I should have been pinned to end the match. That was all.
That's disappointing. All right, third from the SWA. Other than the World Heavyweight Championship, which title has your eye in the SWA the most?
The Heritage Championship.
Flat out, straight up, he's not lying. Man's ready for it. Question 4. Do you still consider being Justin Mad Dog Hicks' son, and do you feel disrespected by him?
No, I don't, and I always feel disrespected by Justin Mad Dog Hicks. I want a match against him, damn it!
Step up, Justin. Don't be scared. Mr. Studley, thanks for joining us, buddy. That's what we got for you. I really appreciate you taking the time on the Twitter questions, too.
No problem.
That was a blast. Did you have a good time?
Yes, I did.
Good. Is there anything else you want to plug, promote, put over before we go?
Not that's EFED related, but I do have YouTube and Twitch. Find me over at twitch.tv/Sanji Himura. And until then, that's it.
You'll see. You can find them in the Discord. At the same thing. What is it? Hanji Samura?
Yeah, Sanji Himura.
There you go. So you can find him on Discord. You can find him on Twitch. You can find him in the SWA over at Social Media Wrestling Association on Facebook. He's a customer over at EWTs. Let's ask you about that. How was your experience dealing with EWTs?
I thoroughly enjoyed it, except the timing of the shipment would have been better on my part because I got the shirt when I was out of town.
So it just sat there for a while.
It just sat there.
Well, it got there quick, but unfortunately you weren't there to receive it.
Yeah.
But he's wearing it now. If you're watching the video version, you can check it out. Check it out over at efedtees.com. One more question. What are those Nintendo games behind you?
Those are my streaming. That's my streaming setup.
Oh, see, it looks like Nintendo games. I messed up.
Actually, yes, it is. It is Nintendo games.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's all hidden in the shelf.
I gotcha. Okay. All right, man. Thanks for joining us, buddy. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.